Nicholas Mendoza. Shit. Guy like you's really gotta fuck up to land here with me.
Hello and welcome to the Games Radar Plus Battlefield Hardline video review. I'm Games Radar Executive Editor Andy Hartup, and I am joined by Ben Griffin, who reviewed this game.
Hello.
So, Ben, before we get on to multiplayer, which I suspect is why any Battlefield fan loves Battlefield, I know the EA have been really keen to make this the first Battlefield in, well, certainly a long time to have a story that people actually like. So, how is the story? Is it good?
I would say it's one of the strongest Battlefield stories because it makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. I personally found the previous Battlefield stories a bit hard to follow, but this one's a bit more grounded. Saying that, without giving away too much, it does kind of jump the shark in the last few missions, but the first half of it does hang together really well.
So, give us a little idea of what the tone's like. I mean, is it quite serious and gritty? I mean, make it like a comparison with maybe a TV show or something.
Well,
position it for me. It's
definitely trying to be The Shield or NCIS or like a kind of police procedural. It's got a lot of characters from like TV shows such as that. Benito Martinez, you might recognise from The Shield. But no, it's really silly. It gets ludicrous later on. But I really want to say what happens, but I can't give away too much. It's definitely not gritty though.
No, not gritty. Oh, well, that makes a nice change. So, I mean, how far is the gunplay from like classic Battlefield? Like, how is the gunplay different from maybe say Battlefield 4? I mean, is it much different?
It's quite similar. There's one or two weapons which change it up a bit. There's a zip line which you can you fire at a building lower than you and you can zip line to it. And there's a grappling hook which you can fire at ledges, and then you can climb a rope up to a new ledge. And other players on your team, if you're playing multiplayer, they can climb that up as well. Actually, there's a little anecdote from when I used a zip line. Someone actually killed me with a zip line, so you can use these offensively as well.
Oh, really?
And that opens up like new scenarios. But as far as the gunplay is concerned, there's not a lot of difference. But you didn't really need to be, because Battlefield 4 had great gunplay and it sounded amazing as well. So yeah, solid.
So let's move on to the multiplayer. Actually, before we do that, the car stuff, like the car chases,
yes.
That feels really weird for like a Battlefield game, because I've been playing Battlefield for a long time and it's all been about tanks and choppers and like using vehicles as offensive weapons. But car chases, does that really work?
I think there's 2 car chases in the game. They're really hard to fail. But they look amazing. Like, you're going through cardboard boxes and like glasses flying everywhere, and there's like, oh no, the train's coming, oh god, outrun the train. And they only last for like 30 seconds, and they're actually really fun. But yeah, there are no jets in this game. There are no tanks. That you can't even throw grenades in this game. So yeah, it's very scaled down.
Mm-hmm. Oh well. Okay, I'm not entirely sure how that will go across with the Battlefield fans.
But the advantage to that is, because the levels are smaller, they're more destructive. So, for instance, there was a level set in an art gallery, and I was just firing bullets everywhere. And by the end of the level, the sculptures were on the floor. There was a bust lying in pieces, and there was glass everywhere. So it looked pretty cool.
Millions of pounds worth of damage.
Actually, they say at the end of the level, do you know you just caused £3 million of damage to that house?
Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah. So go on then. Tell us about the multiplayer. How does it stack up? I mean, obviously the maps are a lot smaller. The modes are probably tailored towards that. How does it stack up to say the more sort of full-scale military ones that you see in 3 and 4?
Well, like the moment-to-moment action's a lot more immediate. Like the spawn points are a bit closer together, so there's never a point where you're walking like 30 seconds to a minute into the action. That does kind of have a downside in that you can spawn literally right behind someone and shoot them in the back, and that's a bit unfair because the same can happen to you as well. But to say that all the levels are smaller is maybe a bit wrong, because there are 1 or 2 which I've been told are the biggest levels in Battlefield history.
Oh, okay.
Derailed is like set in a train yard, and that's massive. But it still feels a faster game. I think because the health bars for enemies are smaller and the weapons are slightly more powerful.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel that slow, even though some of the maps are quite big.
So would you say that Hardline is moving more towards a sort of Twitch-based, small-scale, faster action like Call of Duty, or would you say that Hardline still sort of retains the tactical depth of 3 and 4?
It's definitely not Call of Duty or Counter-Strike. It's still very much Battlefield, but it does lean more towards that sort of small scale stuff, especially some of the modes such as Heist, Crossfire, and Blood Money, where you're kind of going in these labyrinths with the micro destruction, and it's like very much inventory based. So yeah, don't expect to see jets and tanks in multiplayer. But it does, as I said, it does hold up in these like kind of small, intimate scenarios. But yeah, it's not Counter-Strike or COD, so don't worry. You got COD and Counter-Strike for that.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little bit about what was your favourite mode in the game. I mean, a lot of people have sort of talked about different modes. Which one did you prefer playing?
Oh, I actually really liked Hotwire, which is it's like Conquest. There are a few like vehicles on the map which you have to get into, and once you've commandeered these, you can drive them around the map to rack up points. So it's like being in your own mobile kind of king of the hill. And while you're doing this, the other team's trying to shoot you to stop you racking up the points in your vehicle and then get in their own vehicle. But there are a lot of kind of strategies you can find for this. Like, for instance, I found like an RPG in an old caravan. I picked that up.
As you do.
Yeah, and I waited in a bush for a tanker to come by. He didn't know where I was laying prone. Just shot it. So stopped that guy, racking up all the points. Another one, I was in one of my dude's cars, shot out the window, leant out the side of the window and just grenaded the bike that was chasing us, shooting at us. So it's like a really good teamwork.
That's cool. And what about the progression stuff? I mean, does the new progression system work? I know it works on like money now, doesn't it? So you get money and you can upgrade your stuff. I mean, does it feel much different to previous games? Has it improved it in any way, or is it just another set of magic beans that you're exchanging for better guns?
Basically, it is. It doesn't revolutionise, progression and perks and all that. One thing I can say is that you can't equip power weapons such as the RPG and the LMG and stuff like that, because it doesn't really make sense in a cops and robbers context, because cops don't really carry around RPGs. So what Viscera have done now, they've put power weapons in neutral points across the map, so anyone can grab them if they're fast enough. So it's a bit more balanced in that respect.
Yeah. So you saw lots of scraps for the big weapons, I guess, when people went for them straight away.
Actually, not a lot of people went for them. I tended to go for them, but they're more like an option. So it's not like a mad scramble to get them like in something like Halo. Yeah, they're just another option on top.
Okay, so obviously you've got loads of other shooters out there. You've got Destiny, which loads of people are still playing. Master Chief Collection, which is just about fixed now. A lot of people are still playing Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3. Should fans of shooters in general pick up Hardline?
I think they should, and I'll tell you why, Andy.
Go on then.
Because it's not just another Battlefield. Why would you want another Battlefield? Because we've got 3 and 4. It's a slightly more smaller scale Battlefield, which kind of it carves out its own niche, to use a cliche, because you've got Destiny doing its Destiny thing, you've got Halo doing its Halo thing. I think Battlefield is doing a new type of thing, and it's in a kind of unique position in shooters. So it's like it feels larger scale than the likes of Destiny and Halo and all that, but it feels smaller scale than Battlefield. So it's a little pocket. It's in a little pocket.
Okay, and obviously there's a bit of competition at the moment because Rockstar have just added heists and all that sort of stuff to GTA Online. So sort of exists in a similar space almost, but
yeah,
similar themes, but not necessarily the same sort of action.
Yeah, but Battlefield's always going to have the advantage in shooting because it's like a natural first-person shooter. But yeah, it's got its work out for it. There's a lot of competition. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'd definitely play it alongside the likes of GTA and Destiny.
Cool. So if you like the sound of slightly smaller scale Battlefield with a cops and robbers theme, this should be right up your alley. So
it's pretty good. It's all right.
And on that awful note, we'll say thanks, Ben. And as always, have your say on the review. Go to www.gamesradar.com or hit us up on Twitter or Facebook.
That was a pretty sweet video, right? If you want to see more, go to Games Radar's YouTube page over here. Or if you want to read maybe up your game a little bit, go to gamesradar.com.